2026 is going to break businesses that don't evolve, and here's what's coming. And this is not scaremongering, it's forecasting. For the last 25 years, I've studied military cycles, studied business cycles, studied the asset cycles, and the cycles give us clues of what's happened in the past. And humans being humans, we repeat a lot of those cycles again, so it gives us an idea what's coming up in the future. So I've got a stack of notes I want to go through. Make sure you've got your notes. As the Chinese proverb says, a blunt pencil is better than a sharp mind. In other words, you're going to remember what. This is definitely one of those ones you want to write some notes on. So if we look at some of the things that what we've got going on, there are three particular predictions that we know that are happening and are making a big difference. So I'm going to give you the 6 outcomes or 6 specific action items for you to focus on. So let's jump into it and let's go through the keys here. The first key to keep in mind is that when we look at our first prediction, if you look at things that are going to come up and that will make a big change to business and the business community. The first one is looking at AI. And AI, everyone knows AI is happening, but what does that mean as far as how your business goes? And what's going to happen is there's going to be operational disruption. Operational disruption. Things like what happened here is there's going to be a 20 to 40% time savings. There's going to be team size is going to shrink quite a bit. You can have efficiency will become non-negotiable. That whole saying that AI is not going to disrupt your business, but your competition who's using AI will. So AI is going to make a big difference in what happens with people. The second thing that will happen is that there'll be margin compression. What happens when we see margin compression go on? Costs go up. Okay, costs go up. They go up. We know that they go up, and you only have to look at $100. What if you spent $100 in the shopping centre a year ago, and what do you get in your basket now compared to last year? There's a big difference. Cost goes up. But also what's happening is competition's going up. If you've ever done any ads or anything online or Meta or any of those tools, you know the ad spend has gone up massively over the last handful of years. The other thing that happens in here as well is that your pricing needs to evolve. Now what happens is a lot of people get caught in the messy middle. And the messy middle is just where people are aiming to go, right, I'll go to the middle of the market. The problem in the middle of the market is that that's what's getting hit the most with compression. So it's one of those decisions, you either do the Michael Dell approach, which is I'm going to leverage on like as in Dell computers, I'm going to have lots and lots and lots of people selling and I have a tiny margin. Or you do like the Michael Jordan version where there's just one of him, but he charges an exorbitant fee. My preference is that you go for a clientele that is wealthier. It's much easier to go in that context than going down in the leverage unless you've got high degree of skill. So that's margin compression. And the third thing, which comes as a result of the first two, is that there's a talent exodus. And there's going to be a lot of people that are going to go, I'm just done. I don't want to work here. The freelance model, the Uber, everything in your life model that goes on, there's going to be a lot of people that are just going to leave. They're going to start their own businesses. Now, they may not succeed in it. They may start a new one, but the population and the team population is far more transient than it ever have been before. And not only that, but good people are going to get poached. Okay, so these are 3 of the things that are going to be causing additional disruption in the marketplace. Now, the thing about this is perfectly predictable. We know this is going to happen. And the reason we know this is going to happen, what are the things that we need to do to mitigate that? Well, the big thing is just understanding that this is a normal part of the cycle when we go through disruption. And if you look at the cycles that I was mentioning before, if you look at the cycles, there's many different cycles you have, but the 90-year cycle, 45-year cycle is a pretty big one. The one that affects most business people and most people who are investors in any shape or form is the 18.6-year cycle. The 18.6-year cycle shows us that the market moves in a particular way at a particular time, and it roughly works in like a 4 and 8 and a 4-year tranche. So what happens is the first 4 years kind of goes up, then you have a downturn, and sometimes it can be a little up and down like this. It's called dead cat bounce, because even a dead cat can bounce. Kind of bounces up, but it comes back down again. And then we go, that's the first 4 years. Then we have an 8 years where we have a slow run up until we get to a certain point that we go into this next phase and we get a peak. The last 2 years of this 8-year journey, we get into a phase that is called the winner's curse phase. And that's the last push. Stock market has its record highs, property prices hit their record highs, everything goes up, everything's more expensive. See if you can think of where we are right now in the cycle. And then what happens is we have a mega downturn, and that mega downturn lasts for roughly another 4 years. And there's a little bit that sort of goes on, and then the cycle repeats again. So this, you look at this phase, it's a little bit more than that. I've just simplified that. That's all the 16 years. So these phases can go a little bit longer on either side here, and the 8 years can be a little bit longer, but it gives you an idea of roughly the cycles and where they're at. This is critically important because I see a lot of people who's in our space going, oh, this is the things you need to be doing. It's all well and good to be doing all those things, better marketing, better sales, and all those things, but that's a bit like saying, I'm going to go for a run, but it's hail and it's wind and it's super, super cold and you're going out there in your athletic gear. Totally fine. The strategy's fine, but the right strategy at the wrong time is the wrong strategy. And what I see most people miss is they miss the context onto which they are playing the game. And just in case you want to know, is we are in this phase here. So if you think of the last time we had a major downturn, that's when we had the GFC. So you look at the GFC, when that occurred, people can argue roughly, if you look at 2009, you had 18.6 years on that, and you can do the math and work out where we're sitting and what that time frame looks like. So what this is important, why this is relevant, is because when you're in this winner's curse phase, there are specific things to be done as a business leader. And these are things that I want to encourage you to get into place straight away in your business. So that's what I'm going to take you through right now. Make sure you're understanding the 6 things. So let's just make sure, I'm going to use my notes on this as well, team. This is stuff, by the way, that I take our members through and helping them guide their businesses. And just to give you an idea, we've just now had 11 years. So 11 years now, we get a profit and loss and balance sheet from all our members. And the average increase in their profit has been 252% year on year on year for the last 11 years. And a big reason for that is they understand the context. If this is what's happening, the disruption, there's mega disruption in the context. What are the things that we need to do to make sure that we hit the ground running and actually do amazingly well as we go forward on that? Okay. So what are the 6 things? And I'm going to call these the 2026 focus points. So if you look at generally in business, there's going to be lots of things you can do in business. Lots of different areas you can work on. But what I want to have you is what's going to overlay that? What are some of the key things you want to make sure that are overlaying the way that you do business? And I'm going to go through 6 things, and they're pretty much in the order that you do them, except for the last one you need to do at the same time. So here's the first thing. The first principle here, the first focus point on here is to make sure that you do whatever you can to do the best you can to leverage your time. To leverage your time. What does that mean? What that means is that if you look at the difference between I need to grow more revenue, I need to grow more profit, or I need to increase the amount of free mental space that I've got, I'm going to ask you to opt for the increase in the free space. The reason we do this is so that you can seize opportunities and especially to dodge threats. Now, the thing to keep in mind is that if we look back across here over this side over here, we're in this winner's curse phase. What people miss is at this point here, that's when the greatest opportunities happen. More millionaires are made in the downturn than any other time. So this is about getting yourself super prepared. There are 6 things I'll take you through to get you super prepared. But right now, what we need to do is to keep in mind that this is an opportunity to make as much hay as you possibly can. So when the opportunities come up, this is complete intergenerational wealth. This is game changing for people when they put this into place in their business. So the first thing is to leverage your time. What are some of the key things that you need to be doing to leverage your time so you can seize the opportunities that are coming up and you can dodge any threats? Second thing that we want to make sure that happens, that based on that, and a way to do that is to lead your leaders. What does that mean? That means, and you might go, I'm a solo hero, I don't have anyone. Well, you do. You've got family members, you've got contractors you work with, you've got suppliers you work with. They're all part of your team. Your bookkeeper, your accountant, they're all part of your team. And what we want to do is see how we can get even more leverage. And the reason we want to do this is because when we lead our leaders, it helps free up our time. But the big part of this is all around you understanding a thing we call flow. And flow is making sure that, yes, you free up your time, but everyone has a superpower. We know that some people are good at creating things, some are good at marketing it and selling it and networking with people. Some are amazing at customer service, and some people are good at just making sure the processes and the systems, that the I's are dotted and T's are crossed. So whatever that is, it's critically important. We free your time up so you can see big picture stuff, but also you stay in flow for the things that are truly empower you and make you feel great, and you add the most value to the business. When we're speaking of value, that gets us into the third point. The third point is just thinking. Now you've freed up time and you're in flow, thinking much, much bigger. If you look at a business, actually look at life, you can look at sports if you want to in the same category. And if you look at these here, if you had to improve that business, there are, let's say any business, there are lots of ways. Let's say you have to improve by, say, 10%. Oh, I'm setting my goals, I'm going to do 10% better next year. There are literally thousands of ways that you can improve a business by just 10%. So thinking bigger, though, is going, what would if I was going to do 100x, 100 times better? And we've actually done some training, and if you look at some of the other videos I've done, I've gone through and explained this 100x thinking. If you go through this, if you go, right, and let's just say even just 10 times more than where you are right now, put a 0 on that. There's not thousands of ways to do that. There's usually only like 2 or 3 things. So straight away as I say this, you go, if I was to 10 times the business right now, how would I do that? Well, it actually restricts the amount of things that you would do, because not everything's going to do 10 times. So what this now does when you're thinking bigger, it actually gives you fewer things to focus on. And again, that is happy days. Less things to focus on, but things that actually drive results and actually make a big difference. So that's number 3 in there. The fourth part here is, as evolution occurs, the marketplace changes. Technology is clearly making a big difference. We talked about that, the AI, which is causing operational disruption. We've got margin compressions. It's going to help you to evolve. The whole expression of a necessity is the mother of invention. So what we need to do is start to get you back in and reminding yourself, where are your clients, your ideal clients, where are they moving to? So what we want to do here is to ensure that your product has a great mix with the market. So you have a product to market fit. So this is the time to use your free time as you're in flow, thinking much bigger, that you then go, all right, for us to hit these bigger goals, for us to help more people, to serve more people, then what we need to do is we need to look at how do we improve our market fit. And what this does is it means that your business is better now, but more importantly, you actually have a business in the future. In the next 2 years, many businesses, if not most of the businesses you know, are not going to be in business. They are not evolving nearly fast enough for them to get the traction that they require as they go forward. You will be by putting this into place and putting some more energy and time into the product piece. Then the 5th piece here that we've got is as we talked about here, if you look at, there's a talent exodus. So now's the time to use this year to put your business in pole position, because when the market does tank, when it does come back, people are going to be laying off people as well. People are going to be leaving, but people will be laying off. That's your opportunity. That's your opportunity to get that one person, you're only one hire away, one marketing hire, one sales hire, one delivery hire, one operations hire, one hire away from having a business that will do more than 10x. So what we need to do is to make sure that your business is as attractive for talent as possible. So what are you doing to make sure you do that? Because in a labour shortage, and let's say labour shortage is talented, the right sort of like the amazing people in the talent shortage, we want to make sure that you get the best talent. That doesn't happen overnight. That doesn't happen by going to a recruiting agency and going, hey, can you fix this thing for me? Can you go and recruit for me? No, it doesn't. It happens because you start early and then you get that up and running straight away. Okay, that leads us to the last one here. Now, all of these are pretty much in sequential order, except for the sixth one. This sixth one and this first one need to kind of happen at the same time. And the sixth one here is to build your war chest. Make sure that you are doing what we call cash and asset allocation. Because when we have a downturn, which there will be, when we have a downturn, you want to make sure that you've got a war chest so you can go in and buy that piece of property, buy that asset, buy that equipment, purchase that person that's going to come in and make the game change for you and your business. So as you go through this and you're taking your notes on this, just remember there's going to be some big disruption happening. Know that the context that we're doing it within is evolving and changing very quickly, and we're getting to a very exciting stage, but a lot of people are going to be doom and gloom. There are 6 things to focus on as you go forward. 6 things that you can go through. Start at the top and work your way down and go, what am I doing that's sucking my energy? What gives me energy that's going to help you? You'll be able to lead your leaders, get in flow, see that your product is working today and also will work in the future, and make sure that you're attractive to bring people in. And the last piece is build your war chest, because there's going to be some massive opportunities. What people do in this next year is going to determine the next decade. Make sure you put the right step at the right time, and you will also be able to set you and your families up to truly create intergenerational wealth.